Get ready for some easy and affordable ways to organize your craft room this New Year season. And as always, delicious DIY treats. Welcome to my channel, Craft, Eat, Repeat. Hey guys, my name's Aneka and welcome to my channel, Craft, Eat, Repeat. So on this channel, you're gonna find fun, affordable, and easy DIYs for you to do for your home, for holidays, and I always like to throw in a treat at the end just to keep life a little bit sweet. If you're new here, welcome. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Everybody hit that notification bell so you'll be ready when my next video comes out, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. So my craft room is a disaster after the holidays. Like, there's no other way to put it. I'm kind of embarrassed to show you guys what my craft room looks like, but I'm hoping that I'm not the only one in this situation. So I'm doing a few fun DIYs just to get my life together, because sometimes I feel like my craft room is like a reflection of the craziness that is going on in my head sometimes. So I'm gonna just get myself together, make a few DIYs to organize my space, simplify my life a little bit, and I just wanted to record them and show them to you. So today's video is actually part of a collaboration with some other awesome YouTubers. I'm gonna put their organization videos down in the description box, so don't forget to check them out when this video is over. All right, guys, let's get started. Okay, guys, it's time to craft. So I started out with some tin cans, and I just wanted to make sure that I had all the same size cans. So it doesn't matter what size you use as long as they're all the same size. I decided to go for these wider ones so that they would hold more storage. I'm just going to paint over them with some white chalk paint. And I love this paint for this. It goes onto the surface so easily and it dries very quickly. I want the outside of all my cans to be white, so I'm just going to go through and paint all of my cans white. I did do 9. You can use whatever number of cans you want to stack them how you'd like. Now I'm just going to go through and distress the cans a little bit with some sandpaper just to give it a little more personality once I put it all together. I'm going to wipe off any of the powder or residue from using the sandpaper. And then I'm going to come back through with some clear coat just to make sure that it doesn't get scuffed or chipped or anything like that as I'm using it for craft room storage. Next, I wanted to add some pops of color into the cans on the inside just to give it a little bit more of an interesting look to it. So I just kind of went through and decided how I wanted my cans to be stacked at the end and where I might want the colors to be so that I would know how many of each can I needed to paint which color. And I just went through and used this acrylic paint to paint the insides. Now I did do one quick coat of white chalk paint on the inside of the can, and this just allowed the acrylic paint to just go on a lot more easier and more smoothly. So for the yellow, I did have to do about 4 coats to get it nice and the color that I wanted to be. I needed to do 3 coats for the orange, and the 2 darker colors, I only had to do 2 coats of them. Now I'm going to go through and put some clear coat on the top of the acrylic paint. And I'm just going to let that dry before I construct my storage. Next, I'm going to take my tin cans and just remind myself of the pattern that I decided I wanted to use, because by the time I painted everything, I kind of forgot where I wanted all the colors to be. Next, I'm going to use Gorilla Glue glue sticks because I really want these to hold firmly. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to put in each one, and I knew that some of the things might have a little bit of weight to them. So I wanted to use a really good adhesive that I knew would hold everything together. So now I'm just going to lay the cans side by side, making sure that they're even front and back, and I'm just going to glue them together. Now, for the top rows, it was a little bit more difficult to figure out exactly where to put the glue to make sure that it would make contact with the top and bottom can. So I just used a pencil, drew some lines on there, and then I knew exactly where to put my glue. And you guys, these Gorilla Glue sticks, they hold so well. Once the drying time is over, they are a little difficult to get apart, so make sure that you put your lines in the right place and glue it exactly where you want it. And once I had them all glued together, I had this container that had 9 spaces for me to put things in, which is amazing, guys, because there is just stuff strewn around my craft room. It is all over the place. I have to step over things to get my markers, to get my glue, to get my scissors, but now they're all at hand right here, and I absolutely love this storage solution. And most of these cans I just already had from foods that I was making, so this was a very, very cheap project. Next, I just wanted to make some storage to hang a few things because I thought that would be convenient and also just it would be pretty for my space. So I got some frames at the Dollar Tree. I popped out the backing and the glass, and then I grabbed some chicken wire and I just laid it right on top of my frame to decide how big the piece needed to be to fit into the frame. And you guys, I did off camera, I did reinforce this frame with some hot glue because sometimes these Dollar Tree frames can be a bit flimsy, and I knew I wanted to hang things on these, so I wanted them to be sturdy. Once I got it in, I used my hot glue gun to glue the chicken wire in, and I really actually had to hold it pretty tight to make sure that it stayed flat while it was drying. After that, it stayed pretty well, but if you're going to hang things with any kind of weight to them, you might want to use a different adhesive than a glue gun. Next, I took my frames outside that had my chicken wire in them, and I just spray painted them all different colors. And that was it. They came out so cute. At first I was going to hang them on the wall, but then I decided to just lean them against the wall for now, and I'll probably use the other ones later. I grabbed some S-hooks from the hardware store, and I just put them on my chicken wire. And this way I'll be able to hang things from them that I need to have on hand. So next I just needed to decide how I wanted to use my new chicken wire storage, and that took a little more time because, as you guys saw in the beginning, this room is a disaster. So I really had to dig through and figure out exactly what I needed where, what things I wanted within arm's reach, and just how I wanted to organize my space. I always feel like the new year is a great time just to figure out how you want your things to be, how you want your state of mind to be, and adding this craft room organization just really put me in a good mind space to create new things this year, and I'm just excited about what's going to come together. I love this piece right here. I decided to just put some twine on one of the frames and hang some ribbon from it. I hung my pliers, my scissors, and I love it. And now it's time to eat. So I ended up using 9 cans when originally I was just going to use 7. So I ended up buying 2 cans of peaches that I didn't originally need. So most of the time my treats have something to do with the craft that I do, and today it's just out of necessity because I had a bunch of peaches. So I put my peaches in the freezer. I also grabbed out some bananas that I had in the freezer. Does anybody throw bananas into the freezer thinking you're going to make banana bread and then like a year later you find your bananas? These haven't been in there for a year, but I do need to use them up. So I'm going to put them in the food processor, and then I'm going to add some sweetened condensed milk. I'm just going to let that all blend together. And when it's finished, I'm going to put it in an airtight container and put it in the freezer just to harden up a little more. Now you can eat this at this consistency. It's kind of like a mix between a milkshake and a smoothie and sherbet. I'm not sure what I would call it besides delicious. So the extra that I had is going into a glass for me. And you guys, my kids are still at school, so I get to enjoy this delicious, cool treat without any little hands reaching to have some of my treat. When it comes out of the freezer after about 2 to 3 hours, you scoop it up like ice cream and it is delicious. It's refreshing, it's fruity, not quite as heavy as ice cream, but just so good. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed these storage solutions to organize your craft space. I do plan to come at you with more organization ideas as I'm getting my space together. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you guys, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It helps me out so much, and I just love to have more friends to share my journey with. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time when we repeat it all again.